Hello, my biddies. I forgot to shut my door because I just got done. Razor wire. Razor wire. Coming in just under the wire. So that's what I do, I guess. Just the way it goes. Also still having lunch. How is everybody today? Feel free to comment in the chat. Hope you're all well. I got done with the 7 Little Johnston episode about 20 minutes ago. So it's cutting it close. So everybody disappeared. They're probably all bots. I hate it when I get on and it says people are watching, but they're all bots and they disappear right away. Super annoying. I don't know why that happens. I should look into that, but I don't know if I ever will. How are you all? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay. My whole schedule got messed up yesterday. So we'll see how today goes. Nothing much going on here. The weather was better yesterday. Now it's gloomy again, which is annoying. Next week it's supposed to be in the 80s though, so that'll be fun. It means it's gonna be like 90 degrees in my living room. Yeah, maybe not if it's not sunny, but all right. So first up today we have 7 Little Johnstons, season 17, episode 5. Wedding budget has entered the chat. Oh, so ridiculous. Okay, so we start with Liz, Bryce, Amber, and Trent entering a restaurant. They're there to go over the wedding budget, which is apparently really out of control. Amber literally shoves the paperwork at Liz. Like, she's so mean. But the kids agree that $55,000 is too much. I want to know what they're including in this. Apparently, that doesn't include the food, much less the clothes. So not minus the food and clothes, it's $55,000. Are they including their little improvements that they were going to do anyway in this budget? Because that's not cool. So apparently some of the flower arrangements were $2,000. Are they like doing those roses that last a whole year on there? Because it seems like they might be. So I don't know. Are they having solid gold toilets and carved monogram plates? Like, where does the $50,000 come from? Okay, so the kids agree that's too much. I'd really like to see the details because that's a ridiculous price. Trent said the ceremony and dinner are the most important things, and maybe he's right. There was indication that some of the flower arrangements were over $2,000. It's insane. It's crazy. So I did some calculations because I used to work at a place that had a wedding venue. I didn't work in the wedding venue. Okay, I did for like 2 days. I got moved to a different job, which was okay. It was better suited for me anyway. So I ran some calculations, and this is a very, very nice wedding venue. It's extremely nice. It's beautiful. It's on an estate that people like Henry Ford and that cohort Thomas Edison used to go there, like that kind of a venue. It's a historic building. It's gorgeous inside. It's got like at least 2 fireplaces. The food is really good. I've had the food. It's really, really good. I just had the basic food. I didn't have the fancy stuff that you can pay extra for. So and this is for 250 people, and they're only going to have 100. For the ceremony spot, a reception venue with tables, chairs, and the whole thing, not counting flowers and stuff, of course, hors d'oeuvres and dinner, and the most expensive open bar option was $34,000. So what is costing them $55,000 that they're doing in their backyard? That's just insane. So they're going to trim the budget and say it should be easy because they're just trimming decorations. Next, we have Trent, Amber, Emma, Alex, and Jonah going to the glass blowing because, why not add another unnecessary excursion into amongst wedding planning? They seem to think that Emma is going to make glass blown earrings, which are a thing. I looked it up. They are a thing, but I don't see that happening. I don't think her business does all that great because she basically just resells stuff, from what I understand. Trent says that this is a way to make the kids feel like everything is not just about the wedding, but everything is just about the wedding, and they're adults. They should be fine with that. Of course, Amber over explains how much harder it is for them because of their arm length. If you were not aware, they have a normal sized torso, short arms. That's all she had to say. But no, she has to go on and on and on and on. They all make adjustments for their issues, and it is no problem. And Jonah said it wasn't necessarily easy, but it was doable. And he's the one with the most arm problems because he can't even like stretch his arm out. Poor guy. Seems like there should be some way to prevent that from happening for these people, but constrictions are scary, actually. Trent is upset that the furnace has a glory hole. He says that's not appropriate. Um, it is appropriate. It's literally let you heat the glass up, heat and reheat the glass up so that you can work it. Not everything is sexual, Trent. They ask Liz and Bryce if they know what a glory hole is, and Liz explains correctly two different definitions. And Liz says the third is glory, 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 which is weird. Bryce said something and they believed the whole thing, so I don't know what he said. So she did say that it had a pervy definition, and she's correct. And she's correct about the glass blowing definition. Here's a small thing. It can also mean in Scotland, it means storage. It means a small, messy cupboard or storage space for clutter. So, a junk drawer. In fishing, which Trent should like, or Bryce should like this one. Slang for an exceptionally good fishing spot, often hidden or rare. So, Bryce, you can use the word glory hole for your fishing spots. And in engineering, mining, it's a funnel-shaped spillway on a dam or a surface depression from mining. So there are, what is that? At least 5 definitions. Only one is pervy. Then Trent says it was his first time hearing the term. Like, really? Then how did you know it was appropriate or not, Trent? Because you just said it was inappropriate. He says it's probably Emma's first time too. It's probably not. He told he said earlier that it was inappropriate. Okay. He also said that Alex would know because he has a smartphone. Doesn't Emma have a smartphone too? How would she not know? Jonah says you stick your pipe in the glory hole, and Trent gives it disgusted sounding. It's great. Trent, you have no room. You have no room to be mad at your kid for saying inappropriate things like that because you do it all the time, and you've done it throughout their lives, constantly. It's disgusting. Maybe stop doing that. Maybe your children wouldn't emulate you if you stopped doing that. Emma doesn't see how she can incorporate glass blowing into her little business venture, and Alex doesn't see Emma being a professional glass blower. Next, we go to the tuck shop with the guys from that are in the wedding. It's at the wedding dress shop, which I find strange. Is that a thing? Do they combine those very often? Because usually those are separate, at least where I'm from. We have Trent, Jonah, and Alex, of course, along with Bryce, of course, his twin brother, Brett, his dad, Chuck, and his older brother, Trey, and Liz. Liz is there. Liz has Pinterest pictures for inspiration. She says Bryce likes the traditional black and white tux, but she wants to change the accessories, which is also very common, to bring in more of the fall colors. And by fall colors, she means brown, just brown. No other fall colors, no orange, no red, just brown. Liz says this is the first time they've been told they could rent a tux, but then Trent tells a story that indicates that he's definitely rented a tux before. He says it needs lots of alterations. Stephanie is the person waiting on them, and she gets them all started with beers. So I guess men can't complain if they have a beer when they're shopping. Liz says that she's there to make decisions because Bryce doesn't make decisions. So they find the most of the clothes for Bryce, but Liz wants a tie color they don't have. And then Stephanie says she has something else to show them because Bryce wants camo in the wedding, and Liz is like, no. Liz says she is not having our red wedding being remembered as some redneck camo like shindig. Our wedding should be remembered as a beautiful wedding. I don't know what a red wedding is, but I doubt that hers is. I hope hers isn't, because from some of the stuff I looked up, you do not want a red wedding. She's very, very, very against the camo. Bryce says the wedding can still be beautiful with camo. She just says no. Stephanie brings out a very tasteful tree camo and tie. You know what? I should look that up. I'm trying find one that looks kind of like it. I think this one's closest. Hold on, I'll show you in a second. It was very similar to this, which I find very tasteful. I find that very tasteful. That's nice. I like it. I don't even think it had the brown in it. I think it was um just the gray and white. I find that tasteful. If you're gonna have camo, that's the way to do it, for sure. um he does look great in it, by the way. Liz is not having it. She says he's a southern boy, not a redneck. Like those are two different things. All the guys thinks he looked great, and he does. She says she can't look bad in front of Bryce's dad or get mean at Jonah and then acts like she's beating up Jonah. And she says her dad has not seen her like that. Like, Liz, does your dad not know you? I mean, not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but you act like you're all daddy's girl a lot of the time. Then she says she can't wait for Jonah's wedding day. They're gonna put feather. We're gonna put feathers. We're gonna have orange. Like she thinks she has any say in Jonah's wedding, which she will not. Her dad tells her to set it aside, and she says no. She says she's getting Bryce a themed groom's cake, and that's his surprise, and that's all he gets. Um, Bryce's dad suggests that the ceremony be just as she wants, but to change into the camo for the reception, and she says she could live with that. Bryce wants to wear the camo. He doesn't care when. He's very easygoing. Has to be. He lives with Liz. I mean, Amber for her mother-in-law. And I'm still confused about this wedding tux place. Stephanie says she brought a lot of sizes, which means that she brought them from somewhere else. Every tux shop I've seen has that on hand. Are they not at an actual tux shop? Does the tux shop not want to be connected with them? Trent asked his height and he says he's 5'1". No, he's 51 inches. He's 5'3". He's 4'3". He's also an idiot. Like, why would you say you're 5'1" when you're 51 inches? Those are two different measurements, sir. Trent asked if it makes more sense to rent or buy the tuxes. To rent it was about $235, including the shoes. To buy the jacket alone was $330 and another 130 for the pants. So it was going to run them $450 to $500. And then Trent complains about how you have to be careful about not messing up the alterations, like everybody has to do. So I don't understand. They never say whether they bought them or rented them. And I mean, especially the younger guys, you don't buy them a tux. Their bodies are still changing. Anyone under 35, you probably shouldn't buy a tux for at all, ever. Now, since Leighton loves animals, Amber has decided to get chickens, uh, which they've already done, and it did not go well. She likes silkies. Who doesn't? They're very sweet. And then where did I have my picture? Oh, shoot. I did not get my picture up. Hold on just a second. I have it. It's in my Gmail. So I sent it to myself. Nope, that's not it. Oh, here it is. This is my son, Silky, with her baby. Because she was sitting on eggs and sitting and sitting and sitting. So I suggested to my son, she needs a baby. She needs a baby. You need to buy her a baby because you can buy fertilized eggs that they can sit on. So they bought her about 3 or 4 eggs, and then this one is the one that survived. Isn't he cute? He's so cute. He's a cutie pie. And silkies are a good choice for a pet. They like people, so they're good. But Amber is so dumb that she does not know that birds lay eggs. Like, do they lay eggs? She literally asked, "Do they lay eggs?" It's a bird. Do you think they don't lay eggs? Of course they lay eggs. They're chickens. So literally, they're raising Detra. She wants eggs, which I mean that's understandable, but she's not going to be happy with these silky eggs, and I will show you why. Um, oops. Hold on just a second. This is a normal sized egg that you can get at the store. Am I sharing? That's the normal sized egg you can get at the store. This is a silky egg. They are small, and it takes about 3 of them to get a normal sized egg, and they only lay about 3 eggs a week. They're not everyday layers like bigger chickens are. So you're not getting these. You're getting these as a pet. These are not going to be your morning eggs, your everyday morning eggs, as much as Amber needs that to be. Trent says they look like chow dogs. The one they showed him was brown. And he's worried about predators, and he doesn't want anything to do with them. He's even refusing to build the coop, and Amber is insisting that he will. Next, we see Liz and Emma going into a cake shop to get a fish-themed cake for Bryce's groom's cake. Groom's cake are popular in the South. It's a cake for the groom that is like a fancy cake that looks like something, but it's themed for like stuff the groom likes. Like if the groom likes NASCAR racing, you get a car-shaped cake, that sort of thing. They like hunting and fishing, you get something that's hunting and fishing. Apparently, they're getting a bass. And they're dragging Leighton with them because, there aren't a ton of babysitters available to them all the time. And Leighton immediately goes to touch the flowers, which the woman goes, no, 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 no. Those are sugar. Don't touch those. They look amazing. This cake is going to be fan-freaking-tabulous because these sugar flowers, You could not tell the difference. You could not tell that they were sugar flowers. They looked real. Um, and even if they were real, she shouldn't be touching anything. They take several cakes, one being a spice cake with pumpkin frosting, but Liz says that's too much like Thanksgiving. And then they have they had an almond cake with I forget, I think it was just cream cheese frosting. They had a chocolate cake, of course. They had a red velvet cake. And then in the middle of it, uh, Liz asked Leighton if she's taking a poop right in the middle of the tasting. It's disgusting. Don't bring kids to this. Liz also has a noticeable stain on her shirt, so that's classy. Little Miss, everything at my wedding has to be classy and perfect. You go out with a stained shirt. They decide to go with the lemon raspberry cake, and then she complains about the expense. Like, this is just another added expense. Like, well, this is your choice, ma'am. Um, and then she acts like uh, the decorator's not going to have it in time. Like, she says something like, um, as long as you have it there by November or whatever, November 8th or whatever it was, November 6th, I can't remember. And the decorators, I will have it there. I will have it done in there. Don't worry, lady. I can't imagine having to work with her or Amber. I'm surprised Amber didn't go. And why didn't Trent go? Well, I know why Trent didn't go. Trent didn't go because it's supposed to be a surprise. Um, they haven't even tasted food yet, like for this wedding. It's weird. It's weird. Then we join Trent and the kids in the backyard building the coop because, of course, Trent has to build the coop because he has to have his little fingers and everything. They're still going on about the predators like people in the country don't have chickens all the time. And Trent is worried that they'll stress and die if a predator comes up. They won't. They won't. They're backyard chickens. They're very hardy. Um, he says he doesn't have a chicken degree, like backyard chickens are some kind of esoteric hobby, and like not every other person has them. I swear, like at least a quarter of the people around here have chickens. Then we have a chicken quiz, which was dumb, of course, so I'm not going to repeat all of it, but they all think chickens dream about laying eggs. Chickens do dream. I doubt they're dreaming about laying eggs. They're probably dreaming about having little babies like a normal animal does. Trent says he's not against the chickens, but the timing is problematic, and he is not wrong. Then we get to know all about veils, and Liz is tasting pearls off of her mom's dress. The pearls will be her something old and maybe something borrowed. She says she's doing it for Emma too, but doesn't mention Anna. So Anna's chopped liver as usual. It's the only time that I noticed Anna, a spot where they could have honestly, brought Anna up, but they didn't. Um, she so she's telling her mom that they were egging on the camo. They weren't. They were trying to make her see reason. She kept saying they kept saying it was Bryce's wedding too. Well, it is Bryce's wedding too, Liz. She says Bryce is having a wedding smack dab in deer season. Like that's a plus for Bryce. That seems like something that Bryce wouldn't want. like, like you're messing up his deer season, dude. Amber says that camo was tacky. It's not. You saw it. It's not tacky at all. Amber says that they put enough hunting and fishing in the wedding because it's outside, it's in the yard, where he hunts, and it's hunting season. Like, okay, where's the hunting and fishing in there? And I think even if Bryce didn't like the outdoors, they would probably still be having this wedding outside because that's what Liz wants. It's so weird. It's so weird. Amber says the camo is ugly. It's not. Liz says she canceled the camo and ended up talking head. Bryce is not surprised. She says, we want to keep it classy. And Bryce says, we want to keep it classy, unfortunately. And when she canceled the camo, she learned her dress has been delayed. I call this camo karma. You don't agree to the camo? We delay your dress, ma'am. So now it'll come in 2, maybe 3 weeks before the wedding, and Amber is not happy with that, and that is how that ended. I don't know about these people, I'm telling you. No comments? No chats? Say hi. You guys can jump in and make a comment anytime you want. If you're watching this delayed, you can always put a comment in the comment section below. But chat is always open when I'm live. We can even get off topic if you want. Here for you. Next, we have entitled people, and it is entitled. Entitled woman tried to pull a fast one. Tried. About 8 years ago, I was working at Lowe's in the flooring department. I was freshly and honorably discharged from the Army about 6 months prior to getting the job at Lowe's. So, not freshly. Half a year is not freshly. This will become relevant later on. Granted, I hadn't worked at the store very long, so I didn't know everything there was to know about the flooring. I was by no means an expert, but the one thing I knew for sure was not let customers take the folders that contain the flooring details. Measurements done by contractors for flooring to be installed for personal use. Makes sense. This was stressed to me during my training by both the computer training modules and my manager. Customers are not to take the detail that was done. That makes sense. Why would they need that? This was because we offered free flooring details and quotes. And if the customer had their free detail measurements in hand, they could simply take the measurements to another business and have them do the installation for a potentially better price. Lowe's didn't want that happening. Yeah, of course not. Nowadays, we can take pictures of it. Enter the absolute unit of an entitled woman and her submissive husband. I'm busy at the flooring desk, taking calls and helping customers. This woman walks up to the desk. She claims she had a detail done recently, and you guessed it, she wants to take her folder home with her. I politely but firmly explained to her that that's against store policy for customers to take their measurements home with them. She starts causing a scene, claiming that these were her measurements done by her house, done on her house, so they belong to her. No, they don't. I tell her that I'm happy to get my manager on the phone so they can better explain the policy to her and confirm that I am telling her the right information. She begins berating me, invading my personal space and getting in my face, being absolutely obnoxious. As I'm trying to reach the manager on the phone, why do you need to call a manager? Why do you need to call your manager? You're new here. Are you stupid or something? No, I'm new. I hate it when people do that. It's like, well, you're new. You must not know anything. No, but I know what I was told. And I was told to tell you no. See, I was used to people screaming at my face in the military. Didn't bother me in the slightest. Where I drew the line was when she called me stupid. I'm not usually one to pull the veteran card, but I wasn't about to let this woman walk all over me. She needed to know. I was finally in a position where I didn't have to put up with people screaming in my face and could tell them off. My manager was busy and wasn't answering the phone. I hung up the phone and calmly responded, Ma'am, I was a sergeant in the Army. I'm not some 18-year-old you can walk all over. Just so you know, I don't need this job, and I definitely don't need you screaming in my face telling me that I'm stupid. Now, I'm happy to walk you to the front of the store with you so we can speak to my manager and get this resolved. I'm here to help you. So, how can I help you? She huffed and started cursing and making an even bigger scene as she gathered her purse and her husband, and they began walking to customer service. Why do people's spouses let them do this? Like, if I get the least little bit upset about anything, my husband's like, "You didn't have to act like that." Like, I didn't act any way except disappointed. Stop telling me I'm mad when I'm not. Um, I grabbed her folder, and the people who were standing in line behind her began to apologize. Things like, I'm sorry you have to deal with that. I just shrugged, thanked them for their patience, and said I would be right back. Took my sweet time walking to the front. By the time I get to the customer service, I spot the lady already complaining to customer service staff. I quickly spotted my manager who asked what was going on. Folder in hand, I said, she's trying to take the folder. My manager, a very tall, muscular woman who did not take anyone's crap, said, Who? And I gestured toward the entitled woman. My manager asks for the folder and says, "Okay, thank you. You can go back to flooring now." I happily handed her the folder and began comfortably strolling back to my department. As I was walking away, I hear this woman absolutely losing it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm calling corporate. Do you know who I am? Oh, one of those. Blah, blah, blah. Does she think she's a celebrity? Because I find that minor celebrities have some kind of entitlement, especially minor celebrities that no one's ever heard about. I just smiled, cool as a cucumber, knowing I did something right. She didn't get her way. I didn't get walked all over. I didn't lose my job. I never heard another word about it from anyone. Don't piss off the veteran working in customer service industry. Actually, I don't know why you had to call a veterans card on this. That's ridiculous. Like, don't use your prior employment to think that you're something special too. Anyone working in customer service for that matter. We're just trying to help you. Yes. And I said yesterday, I watched yesterday's episode because I explained how I didn't get walked all over. I'm that fucking bitch says. My 20-year-old son currently works at Lowe's and was extremely happy when he's got his new position in fulfillment because he was ready to smack people at the customer service desk. Girl, can relate. Deborah Gross says, answers, your son is living the universal Lowe's experience. Service is basically a daily test of patience, and fulfillment is like being released from prison. Mm. Fox says, I was a FT commercial front commercial cashier. I think that's what they meant. Before I snapped, ended up doing upload, and it was the best. The three guys were great, and we didn't have to deal with people just poorly packed late trucks. Aquinst says customer service needs rocks of stone, even for the ladies, and a healthy supply of Xanax. They're not wrong. It can really get you down, man. Mr. Mike says, I'm not a vet, but I'm an old guy who was in that construction for decades and was eventually disabled. I decided to try working part time while back and ended up at Home Depot as an electrical sales associate. I have a fairly broad sense of humor and can take a fair amount of crap from people. I've had a few customers who were so belligerent that I lost my temper with them, and each time that happened, I was certain I was going to get fired, but I never heard a single word from management about the incident or the disposition. I actually had one lady come back a couple of days later and apologize to me. That does happen occasionally. Retail is definitely a whole other level of weird. Nope, he says, sounds like you were a nice guy who got the job done. I'm willing to bet that you actually knew what you were talking about. The guy nobody messes with. That was nice of that one customer to come back and apologize. It's a real unicorn when that happens. Plenty Tension says, well done. She sounds like the very reason the rule was adopted. Probably. Next, we have Murder by Words. This is wild. This chick says Pope Leo is a heretic who bowed to false Islamic god Allah. Allah is the same as his God, so I don't think that matters. He must be removed from the papacy and excommunicate from the Catholic Church. And Susie answers, I used to read the book of Revelation and wonder how it was possible that the Antichrist could deceive so many Christians despite openly mocking God and impersonating Christ. I don't wonder anymore. And it's got the meme where, well, first of all, Trump's memed as the Pope, and the one where he says he was a doctor, but he's an angel. It's clearly an angel healing some guy. I'm sure you're familiar with it. Or you can find it if you're not. I'm not putting that up because I can't with that stuff. Oh, next is our bad review from Chrissy in Moab. Beautiful park, poorly managed. Beautiful park managed poorly. This is a beautiful park, but it's becoming increasingly limited. Yes, because it's being used. Soon visitors will be paying to drive past attractions Why does it sound like yesterday? That sounds like yesterday's. I hope I didn't do all of yesterday's. No, I know I didn't. We're skipping it today. I can't deal. I'm too tired. Next, we have traumatized him back, and it is entitled "I told a rude guy my little brother was dying." Throwaway count because my family on uh, regular regular Reddit. I think they meant regularly on Reddit because there's a Y in there. It doesn't make any sense. It's Reddit. It's okay. So my mother, little sister, and I are all at a children's hospital because my little brother is dying. I am so sorry, OP. That really stinks. We want to stay close, so we are at a hotel that we know has a lower rate for us. There was this man who heard we were getting free parking and marched up to the counter and started demand to know why we had free parking and what our rate was. My mother was like, we were here for the hospital. He started saying that we got a bargain. I could tell the front desk lady was trying to get us out of there and hurry up. I felt so bad for her. Later on in the night, we saw the same man in the elevator. I told him my baby brother was dying, and that's what we got a special rate and free parking. You should have seen his face. He started getting uncomfortable, red, and stammering. As I was leaving the elevator, I couldn't help it and asked him if he felt like a jackass yet. Edit. Thank you, everyone, for the sweet replies I've been getting. Yes, I know the girl at the reception desk posted this story on her Reddit as well. I've been sent it over a dozen times, and 99 of those are messaging me, and have been commenting. They are very sweet, so thank you. For the 1% of you, how rude and pathetic is your life? Also, yeah, I'm lying to a bunch of strangers online for what? Grow a brain. I'm in high school and I'm smarter than you guys. Judge Affectionate's top rated comment, and they say he definitely had that coming. Honey Dreamy uh, answers, OP, yes, honestly, that reaction makes sense. He was being rude for no reason and got a reality check real quick. Yeah. Like it's none of your business why somebody else is getting a discount and free parking. Literally none of your business. It could be any one of a number of things. They might know the right person and you don't. Because I have known the right person before. Mommy to Maeve says absolutely devastating and deserved. I hope he loses a few nights worth of sleep over this and comes out a changed person. Uh, somebody answers that spoiler alert. He won't. Um, Desperate Set is the third top rated comment, and they say, but thanks about obsessing over our parking arrangements. Priorities, am I right? What should I do? Um, oh, and there's an update to this one. She says he's nice and respectful, but his house disgusts me. I'm seeing this guy and things were going great. We have many things in common. We could talk for hours. He's respectful. But today we were out at a bar and he said we could go to his place to just talk and listen to music, and that's what happened. But his place is downright disgusting. Talking dirty bathroom with bad smell, dogs piss on the floor, and stuff is everywhere. I just took my allergy pill because I know I'll wake up sneezing like hell. I'm sad because I like him and I'm tired of being single, but I can't see myself having a serious relationship with a person who lives in the jungle. Is there hope for this or should I just call it off? It's like the analyst has the top rated comment and they say run. Uh, Honor Kitten Surprise answers if he's filthy and she stays, she will be committed to cleaning up after him forever. If she goes on a trip, the house is a cesspit every time she comes home. She will spend every evening cleaning up after him. If they have kids, he will teach them to do this too, and she will become a constant underappreciated janitor that they think is annoying for nagging all the time. Yeah. Second top rated comment is from Moon Prism Senshi. Trust me when I say this isn't something you want to be putting up with. Hold out for a man who doesn't live in filth. Please, please, please. Random says, and he knew this before they went back there. If LP continues, he now knows she has no standards. Yuck. OP answers, honestly, that's what's bugging me. I never invite people over when my house is a mess because I feel ashamed of it. And the mess I'm talking about is never as bad as his mess today. Mission Moose says, I'll be out so fast. So fast. Yeah. Next, we have malicious compliance, and it's entitled, You Want Me to Use the Exact Script Word for Word? Absolutely. I work in a call center for a home warranty company for about a year and a half. If you don't know what that is, basically people pay a monthly fee and we cover repairs on appliances and home systems. So basically a ripoff. Calls range from totally fine to absolutely miserable depending on the customer and the day. Our team had a supervisor I'll call Brenda. Brenda was very by the book, which is fine, but she had one specific thing that drove everyone insane. She obsessed over the official call script. Official call scripts sound really, really fake when everybody uses them the same way all the time. Really, really fake. There's no way to make that sound real. Your best actor, your Oscar winning actors couldn't make that sound real after they've done it a billion times. Every call had to open and close exactly as written, word for word, no variation, even if the phrasing was awkward or didn't quite fit the situation. See? A few of us had developed slightly smoother ways of saying the same things that customers actually responded better to, but Brenda kept monitoring calls and flagging anyone who deviated even a little. She pulled me aside twice in one week and told me to use the exact script, nothing more, nothing less, or it would go in my review. So I did exactly that. The closing script, written by whoever back in 2014, apparently, ended with the following. Is there anything else I can assist you with today regarding your home warranty plan or any of the covered systems or appliances included therein? Every single call, word for word. Customers would go quiet for a second because it sounds like a legal document. Some would laugh. One guy asked me if I was a robot. The best call was near the end of my second week of full compliance. The customer said, Did you just say included therein? I said, Yes, sir, that's our official closing. He laughed for a solid 20 seconds and then asked to speak to a manager to compliment me specific for being the funniest customer service rep he ever talked to. I transferred him to Brenda. She never mentioned the script to me again after that. The script sounds like it was written by a gray stuffed shirt lawyer. Yes, it does. And that's not what they should be doing. Future split is the second top rated comment. Um, and I can't read it because it looks terrible. Oh, it's something from Pratchett. Okay. Never mind. I'm not reading that because there's too much there. Third top rated comment is from Oi Laura. There's English that we write and there's English that we speak. And there are times when those two things are not the same. My favorite is back in the 80s. I worked for a lady at Intel. At the end of every week, we had to summarize what we did during the week in a report to her, which is pretty normal. She then took this information, compiled all of her subordinates' report, and sent it up the ladder. It just so happens that her daughter was my roommate, and I heard about this after the fact. Apparently, someone in the group had exclaimed something quite loudly during the course of the week. My boss used the word ejaculated when referring to that verbal outburst. I mean, that's not wrong. Uh, Written in English, this was accurate, although not typically used for obvious reasons. She thought she was being erudite. Luckily, I'm not sure how this happened. Her daughter saw the report. She worked for the same company, but for a different group before she submitted it, and had a little chat with her mom about the difference between written and spoken English. Thankfully, she rewrote the report before submitting it. Then my roommate came home and told me about it, and we laughed and laughed. That was 40 years ago. We still laugh about it. That's awesome. Next, we have evil buildings, and this do look evil. I don't know the building, but very evil. I wonder if this is real because this looked like it could be made up. I'm not sure. But I mean, anything with an eye on it is going to be evil, right? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I right? I'm right. Uh, so it's the Industries Federation in Brazil. It's the Paulista Avenue in Sao Paulo. aka the cheese grater. It's LED that covers the building and part of a digital art gallery operated by SESI, Industrial Social Service. It's a cultural space dedicated to exhibiting digital art, video art, and cultural content. Okay, so that makes sense. I still don't. It's still evil when it's like that. I don't know. Maybe it looks better at other things, but anything with an eye, anything with an eye looking over everybody, not good. Not good. Uh, Excuse me. Next we have AITAH. AITAH for leaving my best friend's birthday party early because I was a B list guest. Throwaway for privacy, though this is a pretty specific incident, and anyone who knows the situation will probably be able to identify me anyway. I, 29 female, have been good friends with Sally, 30 female, since we were 8 years old. We were inseparable throughout school, but we went to different colleges. I visited her a few times each year. She'd visit me, and we'd always meet up at Christmas and on summer breaks. After we graduated, I moved about a 3 hour drive from where she moved to, and we still caught up often. As normally happens, we established our new professional and social lives, drifted apart, but whenever we caught up, it was like no time had passed. We were there for each other when we needed it. When she got married at 25, I was a bridesmaid. I declined maid of honor because I was concerned with the long commute. I couldn't do all of the maid of honor duties required and expected. She drove to my place to support me when my father had a stroke. I stayed with her when she found out her ex husband cheated and she filed for divorce. I always figured that even though life is taking us in different directions, we're always there for each other. Now to her birthday. She turned 30 last week and had a huge party this last weekend. Since it was a milestone birthday, she had it at a banquet hall, all catered, DJ, etc. It was all night, so I booked a hotel, drove up, and would drive back home the next day. When I arrived, I was ushered into a small room with 4 tables and about 10 other people. There was a portable TV on a trolley with a stream of the party in the bigger room. One of the guests told me Sally invited more than the main hall could accommodate, and she hoped after a few people RSVP'd no, we'd all fit in, but only 1 or 2 people RSVP'd no. So the venue opened a second room for the excess guests. So you're just an excess guest after 30 years, 20, over 20 years. So I left after 15 minutes. I saw that in the stream new people arriving after I did, so I knew I was clearly relegated to the B-lister room and wasn't brought there because the main room was already filled up. So after I left after 15 minutes and took my gift with me. The next day I was preparing to check out of the hotel and Sally called and asked why I didn't show. Apparently she came to the leftovers room to mingle about 30 minutes after I left and noticed I wasn't there. I told her I did attend, but I didn't realize I'd be watching a stream of her party instead of attending it, which I could have done at home. She asked if I wanted to catch up for lunch and can I give her my gift then, but I told her I needed to get back home because I had plans for the afternoon. Cue the Instagram story about how people who claim to love her didn't show up and how she can't help that many people wanted to celebrate her. Well, if you want people who love you, you should put them in the big room, shouldn't you? During my drive home, her mother left a voicemail that she was very disappointed in me. But I'm here like, am I supposed to be one of your best friends? I got leftover experience. Did I overreact? Am I the a-hole here? Um, Alice says, we planned our wedding in our backyard and made a graph paper of our yard to scale with a cutout scale tables that had tabs for how far the chairs pulled out. I did the math, and after rearranging my little models every kind of way, I had to reduce my guest list, as 75 people max couldn't fit in my yard. I wanted to make my guests enjoy celebrating with us, not just give us gifts. We want their presents. Any presents were just nice bonus. OP, your former friend has turned ridiculous. One employee says, you had me at graph paper. I think I love you. Master says, I'm sorry, it's too late. They're married. They're married, you see. They planned it out on graph paper. Tom says, wait till you learn you can do this in Excel. And then they explain how to do it in Excel, which I'm not going to go over. JD Jag is the second copyright comment, and she says, NTA, you don't overbook a party, you book a venue that can accommodate everyone. WTF, exactly. OP says, yeah, that's a weird, risky approach to take. If the venue didn't have the extra room, do you just turn friends and family away? And Catherine Lena says she didn't overbook. She wanted more gifts without spending money on a bigger venue. The little satellite loser party was always plan A. Yikes. Probably though. Miss That's All says, I'm sorry, y'all are 30 and the mom is calling to shame you beyond nope. OP says it's their second mom and she just wanted heart to heart. Uh, Geez, these people. Savvy kids' lives. Would never call my son's best friend for stuff like that. I have called him for stuff, but not the stuff like that. Although I should probably shame him more because he's not doing the best stuff for himself. Next, we have Neighbors from Hell, and it is entitled Neighbor Screams at Me While I'm Holding My Newborn, Ends Up in Psych Hold. Yikes. Oh my goodness. Um, we bought a small house on a large lot a few summers ago. Congratulations, that sounds awesome. And all the neighbors have made friends using strategic baked goods. Yes, that's how you do it. The neighborhood was nice and quiet, and the neighbors on both sides of us were friendly. So we were sad to see the house on one side go up for sale about 3 months after we moved in. Some important context to the story is that our house is one level, 100 years old, and about 1,200 square feet, while this house that sold is more like 9,000 square feet. Three-level, huge, new build monstrosity. The new owners seemed normal enough. I chatted when we were outside and accepted all sourdough my husband makes as friendship bribes. Then I had a baby. They sent flowers, but we were readmitted to the hospital for some ongoing health issues for for baby. And when we finally did make it home, I was dealing with a colicky baby, postpartum anxiety, and generally having a hard time leaving the house. When baby was almost 4 weeks old, husband and I had just gotten through another sleepless night, had swapped baby duty so I could get some rest. I was laying down in our room on the ground when someone starts banging on the window next to me like their life is in danger. Don't bang on windows, people. That is so rude. Banging on windows is scary. Don't scare people unless you're doing a prank. And even then, think twice. Immediately, a panic thinking someone is in trouble. I try to get dressed, and the husband brings me the baby so he can go open the door. Whoever it is has moved to whacking the front door instead. So he rushes over, and I say, "Oh, hi, neighbor. Yeah, she just had the baby. She's just had the baby right now. They're coming to the door." He motions me over, so I walk up to see our newish neighbor, then from the monstrosity house, holding her dog. But she's turned away from us and has her back to our door now. I'm still in mid panic, so I say, "Hello, do you need something?" She whips around. She says, "Yeah, I'm neighbor, and I got you those flowers that you didn't deserve." And launches into a tirade about how I'm ungrateful, rude, mean. I haven't brought the baby to meet her yet. Like, ma'am, who do you think you are? My husband is stalking her. Our house is old and we are poor and we obviously don't fit in the neighborhood. So we should probably just move now. This house has been here before this neighborhood was. If it's 100 years old, guarantee it. I hold my baby a little closer and start walking back away from the door. My husband tries to ask her what on earth has set her off, and she just will not stop yelling at us. So he shuts the door in her face. Good for him. Green flags for hubby. Where are my flags? They're down underneath the computer. Green flags for hubby. Um, Husband texts neighbor's husband to say your wife is over and here being crazy, and the guy calls back saying she's got bad anxiety and is withdrawing from weed gummies. And she just doesn't know how to express herself, but apparently has been feeling triggered by my husband waving and saying hello through our shared fence. Oh, the horror. Someone saying hello to you. Man, sir, you need to take your wife in. She needs help. My husband tells him not to come over onto our property at all anymore going forward, and my neighbor agrees. This lasts about 16 hours. The next morning, we were coming home from a follow-up baby appointment, and there's one of those giant, gaudy welcome signs against our front door with no note or anything. Our remaining normal neighbor says she saw the crazy old lady leave it at our door. My husband drops it back onto the crazy side of the fence and texts the husband, reiterating not to come on our property and that we are not accepting gifts. Crazy husband says it's his wife's way of apologizing for yelling the day before. I'm sorry, no. No. Since it seems we can't keep this lady from us, I started researching rentals and panicking again, dealing with some nasty postpartum anxiety. My husband calls the non emergency police line and tells us they can't do anything or take a report unless we want the cops to show up at the neighbor's house. At this point, I'm too tired and scared of escalation to start going down that road. So we leave it for another night. I would not be moving at all. There are ways to deal with this. You do not have to move, although I moved. The day after the sign incident, my husband is outside in our backyard and hears crazy lady in our yard screaming that some kids are in danger. We both work in the medical field, so he sticks his head over to see if any actually need assistance. Crazy woman too appears to have forgotten that she hates us and start begging him to come over and help these poor kids. To be clear, they live alone in their giant ass house and don't have any kids of her own. When he gets over there to their side, there's nobody there but her and her husband, and she's crying and demanding both men start doing jumping jacks to help the kids or the kids will be hurt. Neighbor husband is totally lost and has no idea what's going on. My husband takes him aside and says this is not just anxiety and offers to call for a welfare check, to which neighbor agrees. Police come and she ends up being taken to the hospital on involuntary hold. Not shocked, not even surprised. Neighbor husband then tells us that she has been nervous about living close to people, but the monstrosity house is their dream house, so they moved from a very rural area to get it. I don't know what that would have anything to do. I'm confused. Neighbor lady thought she could handle suburb life, but seeing my husband through the fence triggered delusions that she was being stalked and harassed. Neighbor husband apologized, but said it would be best not to chat outside anymore. While she was in the hospital, they've installed massive solid fence that seems to have fixed the issue, which we did not have to pay anything towards. Of course not. You shouldn't, nor should you have to. One person owns the fence. If the fence is there when you bought the house, the fence came with the house. If the fence faces away from your house, you own the fence. It's your responsibility. They ended up relisting the house about 8 months later. Geez, that sounds terrible. I can't even read the comments because holy cow. So I said she needed help. She needed help and she didn't even want the help, which is sad. Oh, thank goodness. Next one has benign existence. Is entitled, I found out my cat helps wake my husband, wakes, benign, next we have benign existence. Found out my cat helps wake my boyfriend up. My boyfriend gets up before me, so I rarely witness it. Tonight were sat on the couch. He fell asleep, and his 9:30 bedtime alarm starts going off. I lazily ignore it and let him sleep through it for 2 minutes, and then suddenly the cat, notably our shy, less affectionate cat, runs up and jumps onto him. I watch him for a minute as he gently nudges my boyfriend's face and hands and meows at him, stopping once to look at me like, "Dude, help! Dude, some help!" It was so sweet and planned seemingly on his end. I now wonder if he does it every day and for how long. Why don't you just ask? You don't have to wonder. You can ask. There's someone there to tell you. Why is my hair all laying out? Blue Dragon says that's so precious. Jasmine Fred says my kitties always used to remind me that when it was time to get ready for bed. They look at you like, all right, time, what are you doing? What are you doing? Still a Kickin says, male cat often sent my husband to bed nightly. Husband said it was so that he could have me all to himself, as our cat would see him to bed and then would come out and park on my lap for a couple of hours. Cats are funny. Next we have Found Satan, and this is entitled Boss Satan. I don't think I need to show you. It's just words. Sensei Weasel says, I knew a guy who worked in a morgue, and when he was new to the job, his coworkers encouraged to prank the boss by getting on a slab of one of the drawers to jump scare him when he pulled them out. So he strips off, lies on the slab, and the coworkers cover him up, slides the slab away, and close the door. Thing is, inside the storage, there are no walls between the slabs, so he's lying there in the dark with all the corpses, becoming increasingly anxious. After about 5 minutes, the corpse next to him says, "Cold in here, isn't it?" He tried to sit up so fast, he nearly knocked himself out. It was his boss on the next line. I love that. That's so funny. He thought he was pranking the boss, and the boss pranked him instead. Oh, that's awesome. The Preston Brooks says, so the boss had to have entered the slab way before the new coworker entered. Imagine lying there for an hour to scare your colleague to death. Waste of energy times is dedication. Youngsters don't have it no more. Oh, several meeting answers. We pranked a coworker in grand fashion once. It was my idea, and the boss loved it. We were assembling some lockers during some downtime. We had a huge pile of cardboard boxes about coffin size. A coworker was on a break. We flattened all but one, and I got in it. My boss pulled the rest of the flattened stuff on top and went back to tightening the fasteners. When coworker got back, my boss asked him to start hauling the cardboard to the elevator. A few trips later, he was down to the last of it. When he lifted it, I sat up and screamed. He legit grabbed his heart and got dizzy and hyperventilated for a bit. He ended up being okay and laughing. The joke was kind of on us, too. We were both rattled over his reaction. We didn't do that type of prank anymore. Oh, my goodness. I just, oh, my goodness. I'm gonna have to send that to my niece. She wants to be a mortician. So I'm definitely gonna have to send that to my niece. I'm gonna cut that one out anyway for social media, so I'll make sure she gets it. Imagine the silence after that. Just two naked guys in a freezer reconsidering their life choices. Oh. 100 pounds says that's what true dedication looks like. Shark's Tree says this is why the boss gets paid big bucks. Oh, next we have Just No Mill. Mill seems to forget I have a mom and bonus mom every year on Mother's Day. Also posted on Mother-in-laws from Hell. My mother-in-law has this wonderful habit of telling my husband and I what we will be doing for the holidays. It doesn't matter which one. She expects us there and forgets my family. This was the first year in 5 years that we went to my family's Easter. Of course, we had to hear about everything we missed on his side, as well as of 10 minutes ago. Husband and I just got a group text from her stating that his aunt is throwing a Mother's Day party on actual Mother's Day. Don't do this. We should be there at 3 p.m. and dinner is at 4. She doesn't ask about my mom's plans or my bonus mom, which is her stepmom, of course. We know what bonus moms are. Just assumes that we are going in the middle of the day to his aunt's house, not even a time where we could split up the day. Maybe I'm overreacting, but it pisses me off that she constantly does this like my family doesn't matter. September, I will be a mother myself, setting my foot down on this BS, celebrating with my little family alone. Would anyone respond to her message? I've thought about reminding her that I also have two moms I'd really like to celebrate. My mom lives 2 hours away and the other 45 minutes. I guess I could move it to Saturday, but it's also nice to have a weekend not running around, especially 4 months pregnant. Maybe my hormones are raging. So tell her no, we can't make that. It's too late. Too late. We can't make that. I'm going to see my mother and my stepmother this year. You should always do every other holiday with family. One on even numbered years and one on odd numbered years. Trust me, it works great. You don't have to run around to everybody, and you see everybody every other year, and then you switch it. Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving one year, Christmas the next, on and on. And Mother's Day, your husband should be going to see his mother. Your husband should be going to see his mother. It's fine. You should be going to see his mother too. She's your mom too. But you can split it. Do it this. Now, this kind of nonsense, no. Go see your mom. Go see your mom and your bonus mom this year. Next year, you can do whatever she wants, whatever mother-in-law wants. And no, you don't get Mother's Day for yourself. Mother's Day sucks, by the way. Always. People get all head up about Mother's Day. It ain't that. Trust me. I hear nothing but complaints about Mother's Day and how bad it is. If you had a great Mother's Day, feel fortunate. I had a great Mother's Day this year, but I didn't get all my kids at the same time. I had one of them didn't even get me a gift. How rude is that? Pater Noster says should you do this or that? My 2 bits is this never should be on yourself. You do you, take Mother's Day for yourself. um, Brent Bent says, tell her you're avoiding needless travel and have invited all the moms you know. Don't remind her of anything, just let her know like she tells you. Your Mother's Day sounds wonderful, but I already have plans at my house that will be 3 moms there, including me, my mom, and my stepmom, because I'm avoiding needless driving while pregnant. We'll be happy to make 4 moms if you want to attend, but understand you don't want to change your plan. I understand don't if you don't want to change your plan. Honestly, if Mother's Day sucks. I didn't get Mother's Day until my lovely mother-in-law. I love her to death until she passed. Because it was my husband's mommy, you know? Next we have Petty Revenge and it is entitled Next we have Petty Revenge and it is entitled Influer Influenced. I just had one of those irritating sessions in the gym where an overly chatty girl with a phone streaming her workouts wanted everyone to move away from her. Most of the other folks there just wanted to complete their sets, shower, and head home. But she needed her followers to see her circuit, and everyone needs to move. A real PETA. I was in the free weights area completing a few sets of barbell squats as she sat up near me on the weights bench. She stood staring and grunting, but I wasn't moving. She sat up, making sure I was not in her shot, and restarted her stream. As she restarted, I started my final set. Barbell squats are good as a secondary exercise for your abs, and my final set increased the weights. Throughout my workout, I felt a bit of gas building up through the sets. Oh no. I had held it back as I'm polite to other users, but the influencer girl was making herself very obvious and very obtuse. As I went for the last ascent, I decided I wasn't going to be polite and hold that gas in any longer, so I let out a very loud, very obvious fart. I'm sure every follower on her channel heard it. I picked up my towel, wiped it down, and left. Pretty petty, yes, but exactly what she deserved. uh, Should have known better. Says next time you need to whip around and look at her and go, "Oh, girl, super loud." Absolutely none of those watchers will believe it wasn't her. I hate anyone who films in gyms. Why do people film in gyms? It just seems like a weird thing to do, unless you got the gym to yourself. Next, we have Am I the Jerk? And is entitled AITJ for locking my office door during lunch after a coworker kept treating my break like open office hours. No, you are not the jerk for this. I've had this happen to me. I've had this happen to me so many times that I started eating lunch in my car, which was not fun or ideal or anything. But then I didn't have to work through lunch. Sometimes my boss would understand that I just worked through lunch. I hope you're happy. And she'd just clock me back in. She'd just take my clock out off. And then I paid extra. I work in a small office where most people eat at their desks, which is fine for them, but I use my lunch break to actually decompress. I close my door, eat, scroll a bit, answer personal texts, and just existing without somebody asking me for one more tiny favor. For a while, one coworker kept knocking during the lunch stuff that was never urgent. At first, it was quick questions about sharing files or where something was saved. Then she turned into asking if I could look over emails, fix formatting, explain stuff she could have figured out herself if she slowed down for 2 minutes. I tried to be nice about it because I sit near her and I don't want any weird tension every day. I told her a few times that if something was urgent, she could message me. Otherwise, I'd get it I'd get to it after lunch. She'd still knock anyway, and then do that half laugh thing. So I know you're on break, but this will only take a second. It was never a second. Of course not. Of course, it was never a second. And if they're knowing you're on break, why are they bothering you? I was always some annoying little task that turned my break into unpaid overflow time. I think you mean unpaid overtime. Uh, the thing that pushed me over was last week when I was on a call with a family member during lunch because of some ongoing stuff at home. Not dramatic, just personal and not something I wanted overheard. She knocked once and then again opened the door because I hadn't answered fast enough. She saw I was on the phone and stood there with the sorry but while I have you thing with a paper in her hand. I pointed at the door and finished my call after she left looking annoyed. The next day, I started locking my door during lunch. Good. Should have probably been doing that all along. If someone really needs me, they can message me and I can decide if it matters now or in 40 minutes. Apparently, this was deeply offensive. She asked if I was seriously locking her out over a few questions. I told a couple of other people I was making the office unfriendly. One of them said I could handle it less harshly because now it looks personal. It is personal. It is personal. She's the only one bothering me. When I'm off the clock, when I'm off the clock, I'm off the clock. I'm not getting paid. That's literally illegal, and the company can get in trouble for it. Maybe it is personal at this point. I don't think my lunch break is community property, and I really don't think I need to sit there available just because someone else refuses to plan ahead. But now the vibe is weird, and I know locking the door makes a statement, so maybe I did escalate it more than I needed to. No, no, you didn't. Should have done it sooner, actually, when she started every day doing it. So moisty moist, moistly moist. So moistly moist says, I would ask that coworker what part of lunch break did she not understand. OP says probably the part where it applies to other people too. Bonnie Monty says, I'd bring it up in a group meeting. Your lunch is your time. You have tried helping, but as it's now in your daily expectation, you ask nicely not to be disturbed. When that was really rudely ignored, you escalated because you saw no other option. Most of the office is not aware of the steps you have taken leading up to this. Letting everyone know changes the dynamic. You don't go from 0 to 1. You went slow increments. Leaves the other person looking like a douche. Just me says this is the best answer because she made an office issue by complaining to others. The weird vibe is also called toxic work environment. I would also notify HR about this issue in case she escalates past what has already occurred. Does she disturb others when they are having their lunch or only you? But as soon as this became a regular thing, you should have told her I will get to it after lunch, close the door, and every time she did. Because this is a weird power trip. It seems like people at a pedestrian crossing who take as long as humanly possible to cross the road just to piss people off and have a little power. Lunar Charm is the second top rated comment, and she says, you didn't escalate, you set a boundary. She opened your door during a private call. Locking is a consequence, not hostility. Exactly. OP says, the fact that she went and told coworkers about it kind of proves a point. She wasn't upset about the door. She was upset about losing access, and those are two different things. Exactly. Sees it says, just respond that she actually opened your door and invaded your privacy while you were having a highly personal phone conversation during your lunch break. You now lock your door because you don't want anyone else coming in during private convos. That's a good point. Beat the Clock is the third top rated comment, and they say, NTJ, approaching people with unurgent work is work related crap when they are on their break is rude. Your break is your own time. OP says the unsaid rule in a lot of offices is that being available is a personality trait. Like if you eat at your desk and close your door, you're not a team player. No, I'm a person who needs 40 minutes not to think about spreadsheets. Yeah, no kidding. Miss Lady Llama Drama says team player is just a term used to further exploit employees claiming their personal time as their belonging to their job. Exactly. Team player is overrated. 100%. I'm a team player, but I'm also here for myself. Signs with a story is entitled "Was Damn Hot in the Quick Star." I'll show you the sign. It's just text. The only person who should be adjusting the air conditioning and heat is Nicole. Moving forward, any person who touches any heating or cooling will be written up. Turning the air down to 52 degrees is never okay. Any questions, see Nicole. I could change that to Jeannie. It would fit in my form office so easily. 52 degrees, that's insane. That's probably the CEO. 99 lead balloons is the top rated comment, and they say, I did an internship at a large company with a pretty sizable office space with thermostats in each area. Since I'm the intern, I would end up with a lot of odd jobs around the office. One day the heat got stuck on full blast, and they sent me to find the maintenance guy to see what he could do. I explained the situation. I told him I turned all the thermostats down or off, and it wouldn't turn the heat off. He laughed and said, follow me. He took me into the mechanical room in the back with all the breaker boxes, pulled out a seat, and says, you can't tell anybody what you see here, and unlocked a dummy breaker box that contained all the real thermostats. It's excellent. That's excellent. Oh, I love that. Sensei says, is the second top rated comment, and they say, read a story, sorry, I'm going to start over. Sensei is the second top rated comment, and they say, read a story about open office in a high rise where employees were constantly fighting over the thermostat. Mike would get up and turn it up to 73, and then Karen would get up and reset the thermostat down to 65. Okay, that is not true. That's not true. He's lying. Or he's got things reversed because it is a well known fact that women are more productive when it's warmer and men are more productive when it's colder. But women are even more productive when it's warmer than men are when it's colder. There have been studies. But because it was an open space, there was no way to set the heating and cooling zones. So the office manager came up with a solution that was brilliant, if not diabolical. She got the heating and cooling guys to install multiple thermostats all across the floor, about 20 feet apart from each other. And these were just dummy thermostats, but they looked real. After a few days, all the temperature complaints melted away. Syrian Fry says, this is what we have to do, even with those. Sometimes people just like to bitch. It's true. I wasn't going to read this one, but now I have to. Pillman says, men wear 2 to 3 piece office often in offices, not in my experience, but okay. Those bitches, especially with your collared button, offer a lot of insulation. Women usually wear less layers and lighter clothing than is what is required of a man. This is typically the reason there are thermostat issues between men and women. No, if men were, no, that's true. Never mind. I'm wrong. It's a cultural thing. My solution: men and women all wear dresses. I love it. The third top rated comment is from Symphonic Ooze, and they say it was 50 degrees Fahrenheit and the heat was cranked. Oh. Expectation versus reality. And this is, they made it look so good on the cover. And it is Barbie flavored marshmallow or strawberry swirled with marshmallow, Turkey Hill ice cream. It does look good. I have a feeling it's going to go bad, guys. Okay, that's not the same thing at all. There's no swirl in that. It definitely said swirl, right? It says swirled with marshmallow. This is not a swirl, and it's been eaten, so even if the top looked like that, if you dig down, you should see a swirl. There's no swirl. I call ripoff. Turkey Hill do better. Automatic Society says this is illegal in Japan. We could learn. Firestar has the correct answer, but the shareholders. Oh. Yeah, in Japan, the stuff on the box has to look like the stuff inside. Sometimes the stuff inside looks better than what's on the box because of that. Maniacal mistress says, I know we're supposed to be cutting out food dye, but if I buy Barbie branded food, it better wanging be painfully pink. Toucan play that game says also edible glitter everywhere. I want my poop to sparkle. Somebody says that eating regular glitter, edible glitter, is just eating plastic. And Toucan play that game answers, what do you mean? Edible glitter is absolutely a thing. It's usually made of sugar, gum, arabic, cornstarch, and mica-based pearlescent pigments. Non-toxic glitter is not safe to consume, but edible glitter does exist, like the brand Fancy Sprinkles. Worldliness Deep says, I guess people don't know the difference between edible and non-toxic, so it kind of became a thing that everyone was just eating regular glitter. I don't think so. All right, if you haven't, please like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Make a comment, because I know you're not watching it live now, because nobody's here, and I'm still talking. I try to go live at least 4 times a week, but in the summer, that will be 3 times a week. Usually about noon Eastern time. I do try to get on by noon. Sometimes I'm late. Sometimes I don't show up at all. Depends again on the day. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies, tell the guy in the morgue next to you. If you have a story of your own or come across a good one in the wild, please send us an email entitled submission. If you would like a link to the day's current live, send an email entitled subscribe. The email is biddybrunchbunch, all one word, at gmail.com. And an email is also in the description, along with all of my socials. So please subscribe to those also. I try to put the days live when I set it up in the socials to kind of get you guys to, at least get some sort of reminder, shall we say. There's something else I was listening to. Oh, and this is not about the Reddit reads, and it's not about the reality TV. It's about the community. So become an OG. Become an OG, Biddy. Next, we have our real estate section, and this is in Laguna Beach, California. It is a $19 million for a studio on Laguna Beach. It looks bigger than a studio, to be honest. Okay, if this is what you want for your view outside your window, I say yes, please. Yes, please. Right down to the ocean. That is awesome. Hope it's not a cliff. No, it is a cliff, but it looks like it has stairs, so you'll be okay. It is tiny compared to the other houses, for sure. Oh, but that view. Who could not want that? Like hell, there's a lot of houses there. Oh, okay. I see it now. I was going, where even is it? It's this one here. It is a teeny tiny little house. Teeny, teeny, tiny little house. It's so cute. We're going to get to see inside it all. That's a picnic space, apparently. It has a nice little sized yard, to be honest. Okay, 20 pictures in, and we still haven't gotten inside the house. Okay, I want to see inside. Yeah, we get it. There's stairs. We know. They have no pictures inside the house. That's ridiculous. I want to see inside. I want to know what I'm going to look at. basically $19 million. 0 beds, 1 bath. Built in 1923. Experience ocean living. How? You didn't even show me the inside of the house. It's on a rare, oversized lot. Somebody's gonna buy this and tear that poor little house down and build up something ginormous in its place. It's gonna be really sad. It's gonna be really, really sad. Has no bedroom, one bathroom, and it says it has a main level bedroom. No laundry, no fireplace, no common walls. 432 square feet. It's very small. But, I mean, it's not 100 square feet. Oh, it's gonna break my heart when they tear this thing down. Uh, They sold 5 years ago for 7,000, and now they want 1,900 or 19,000. 19,000. They have okay, houses have not gone up 155.8%. I don't care where you are. Property taxes are $16,000 a year, $17,000 a year by the time you do everything. That's ridiculous. I must be going, says you're paying for the oversized lot, not the studio. Yeah. Given the Bard says, given the size of the neighbor's houses, I'm surprised one of them doesn't buy it and make it their pool house. Yeah, no kidding. Somebody says it looks like the garage to their left. Oh, you're buying the land. You're not buying that house. Somebody's gonna tear that house down and put a big old giant house. Next we have Server Life, and it says I had a new one tonight. A guest had a baby kangaroos and a wallaby with them. You gotta see the picture. They're so cute. Look at them. They're so cute. Oh, I love it. Baby kangaroos in the restaurant. That's awesome. Somebody zeroed in on that guy's face, whatever that was. Says, I don't know what I thought this was. And Chaos says, I'm so glad somebody else saw this and was sending me. It does look, somebody said it looks like a small emotional support Connor McGregor for the little babies. Oh, God, that's so funny. Neurospace Explorer says this is the trippiest crap I've seen on this subreddit. I'm a member of so many art subreddits, and they thought this was some postmodern collage. I love the crap out of this. I do too. They're so cute. Ice Princess says that would have been the second best night of my life. I had some guests one night bring their baby spider monkeys and carriers inside and let me hold them. Best night ever. They were so cute and sweet. Spider monkeys are hilarious. All right. Next, we have confession, and it is entitled I Have No Guilt About the Crime That Got Me Locked Up. When I was 15, I had a girlfriend, and one day we were walking together. A guy started to catcalling and wolf whistling at her. I was young, but already a pretty big kid, and I had been raised to have respect for women, so I warned the guy to stop. He didn't take me seriously, and things kept escalating. He kept commenting on my then girlfriend until I snapped. I ended up breaking his orbital jaw and cheekbone and received a felony assault charge for my efforts. I got tried in adult court and served for 6 years, getting out on good behavior. Now I haven't been out too long, but I probably shouldn't admit this, but I have no guilt about what I did. This was a grown man making inappropriate comments about a minor, and I just felt justified at the time. And I still do. I have no intention of ever going back, but I also don't feel regret for my actions other than the loss of my freedom that came with them. Although I have no contact with that girl now, I still feel my actions were justified in defending her. How did you get in jail? How did anybody um, convict you? That's ridiculous. Top comment is you got winged over. You shouldn't have been tried as an adult at 15. Also, 6 years for breaking a jaw is a bit steep. Exactly. Um, Wang Zwang says, I've seen real life whole adults get less for manslaughter and sexual assault. And I've seen people get less for actually um, assaulting a child in that manner. Delicious Laugh says 6 years for punching guys and saying, did you represent yourself or did your lawyer just hang it out to dry? Sparkle Queen says, yeah, 6 years is heavy, but breaking multiple bones will do that. Once it crosses into serious injury territory, the system treats it way differently than just a scuffle. Well, they should take sexual assault even not like twice as serious then. Crazy Appointment says, I feel like there's a lot more to this story. If it was so chivalrous, why didn't the girl talk to you? Because you lose contact with people when you haven't been out of jail for 6 years. Someone else said 6 years would be excessive for a 15-year-old with zero criminal history, regardless of the victim's family. My sister died in an accident, and the 17-year-old got a year plus parole. Well, that's an accident. Why are you comparing apples and oranges? The adult got 5 years because he had a long criminal history. He deleted that, by the way. But I know where to find things now. Aren't you glad? Interesting as AF. Uh, John C. Woods, hangman of Nuremberg trials, who lied about his experience to get the job. He actually learned about hanging from old cowboy films. His lack of expertise led to excessive suffering of condemned Nazis. Yeah, that guy's trash, as all Nazis are. This is from Am I the A-hole? It is entitled AITA for picking up my stepdaughter from school when she got her first period, even though her mom told me not to. Probably not. I, 24 female, am currently 6 months pregnant with my first biological child. My husband, 28 male, has a 10-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. He had her when he was 18. I love my stepdaughter very much and truly see her as my own, but I try to be respectful of boundaries and not get too involved in discipline. We mostly just have a good, fun relationship, and that's how it should be. Green flags for the stepmom. She's doing things right. Especially with a 10-year-old, you're not supposed to be their parent, you're supposed to be their friend. My stepdaughter was at school when she called my husband saying she had a really bad stomach pain. She went to the bathroom and noticed blood, and my husband immediately realized she started her period. He was stuck at work and couldn't leave, and her mother wasn't answering her calls at first. I was home and also on the school's approved pickup list. I told my husband I'd be happy to get her if he wanted, since she was clearly uncomfortable. Then her mom finally called back and things got tense. She said this was a matter between her and her real mother, and that it was a special moment she didn't want to miss. Well, then why weren't you there? I explained that her daughter was in pain and would be bleeding all day, but she said, "Well, we have to tough it out and use toilet paper until I can get there." No, absolutely not. Not when there's an option. Not when there's an alternative, man. Man, this mom is terrible. My stepdaughter was also saying the pain was too bad to focus in class. Her mom kept insisting she didn't want me involved and said something along the lines of, you'll understand when your baby comes and you become a mom. Talk to me when your child has an important life event. That comment honestly stung. Then my stepmother called crying, saying she needed pain meds. The school had given her pads, but she just wanted to go home and rest. Hearing her like that really got to me. My husband told me to go and pick her up. So she didn't do this on her own. The other parent said, go pick her up. She does not need to be at school, despite what heartless mother says. So I did. I signed her out, took her to Walmart, got her ibuprofen and ginger ale, and brought her home. I hope it was Verner's. Because Verner's cures everything, even periods. She also said we had an agreement of, she took the meds and rested and was doing much better. About 5 hours later, her mom called furious. She said the school could have handled it, that my stepdaughter missed her after school program. She was going to do that anyway. And accused me of trying to be a better mom than her. Oh, I'm sorry. You're saying I'm a better mom than you? Then be a better mom. And then I won't have to. She also said we had an agreement about boundaries. No, we didn't. Boundaries are all about you, not about what I do. I told her I wasn't trying to replace her, but that her daughter was in pain for hours and is now feeling much better, which should be what matters. She responded as you parent your kid and I'll parent mine and hung up. Now I'm struck wondering if I overstepped. No, you did not. Your husband told you to go get her. My husband said I did nothing wrong and that he's glad I helped, especially since I understand what painful periods can be. But her mom words are really getting to me. Ignore her. She's mean. She's a mean mom. Mbop bop bop doop says. NTA, your husband needs to call her and tell her he told you to do this, that he, as the father, hearing his daughter in pain, told you to go, and that if she has a problem with him putting their daughter's needs ahead of her, wanting to have a bonding moment over pain, blood, and fear, but only time convenient to her, she can take it up with you, not him. You did the right thing, but don't engage with this on this anymore. This is between your husband and his ex. Leave them to it. Exactly. Invisible Blue Octopus says the thing is the bonding moment would have been if mom was on her way to pick her up but needed more time. But from what I gather from this thread, she had absolutely no intention of picking her up before she finished her school day with the extra classes as well. So where exactly is the bonding? She just got her first period in the middle of a school day. She was in pain, bleeding, and probably scared. The fact that even if she wasn't scared, she was uncomfortable, especially for that first period. It's very, I mean, for those of us who knew it was coming, it's not scary, but it is uncomfortable and it's new and you don't know how to act, but it's not really fear. The fact that the mother expected her to just pull through and stuff toilet paper in her panties says everything we need to know. There wouldn't have been any bonding. She's lucky that the school gave her some pad because she could have free bled if it was depending on her mom. They should have had pads in the bathroom anyway. Also sounds like her dad would have picked her up if OP wasn't in the picture. I'll first assume the mom was stuck at work just like your husband if he gets a pass for not being able to drop everything at the mom, and she does too. That's not what happened. That's not what happened, social scientist. What happened was he doesn't get a pass. He's not getting a pass because someone was there to take care of it for him. If he didn't have his current wife, he probably would have dropped everything and gone and got the kid, like a normal parent would do. With that said, I had my period around that age, and I also remember being in so much pain. It's honestly your husband's job to communicate that he didn't want her in school in pain. And since neither parent could step away from what they were doing, he sent you, not as a way to bond over periods but because she should be in school in pain. She should not be in school in pain. Ill consequence answers. Would say the dad gets a pass because he dealt with it. Mom doesn't because she had no plan and basically planned on ignoring it. If she would have felt more comfortable, she could have sent somebody herself, but she didn't. She was fine letting her suffer so that she would have a moment, but that's messed up. Yeah. Ballistic Squirrel is the second top rated comment, and they say if her mom didn't want you to come across as a better mom than her, then she shouldn't have been content to let her kid be in pain for several hours. You did fine. Her mom preferred to start a pissing contest over parenting. Uh, Space Stonks says also OP wasn't parenting. OP was babysitting an unwell kid for an afternoon at father's request. Exactly. Crossing the line into parenting would mean that the final decision to pool, not dad. Explaining sex, talking about becoming a woman or whatever that means. Existing in the same room with a cramping preteen girl is not parenting. Parenting is discussing the emotional and practical concerns the girl is going to have with her. OP passed out snacks. Exactly. Um, Written says NTA, but your husband needs to take over this conversation. Uh, your its mom clearly wants to have a power struggle with you, and he needs to end it. He needs to tell her that he asked you to pick her up as one of her parents. He made the decision when his child was in pain and bleeding. That if she didn't have time to pick her up and take care of her during this special moment, but chose to leave her in pain at school with only toilet paper exempted from her from it, she can have the special talk in the special moment when she sees fit to pick up her daughter and care for her. Also, she is not to engage like this with you when he has made a decision as a parent. This isn't about you trying to show her up. It's about you caring for his child when her mother didn't. If she wants to be number one, she needs to act like a number one caring mom of the year. Exactly. Okay, Raspberry said exactly. The dad is an equal part parent and he gave OP permission to look after his daughter in his stead. Both parents expect the school to do certain things when they can't, providing an education being the primary one. So it's not like they need to be there 24/7 as long as they know the doctor is adequately cared for. The dad, who was contacted first, determined that OP could provide adequate care when his daughter asked for care a second time. He has the right to choose that, even if you disregard the daughter choosing to contact OP herself. Co-parents have the right to make parenting decision unilaterally if necessary. He made one and he should be willing to stand up for his decision. He is either a parent or a glorified babysitter. If he's a parent, he should be confident in his own parenting decisions to defend them. And he's got plenty to defend in this situation. LP shouldn't have to justify herself when she only stepped in when a parent asked her to. There's two parents, both know the situation. Neither did anything. Well, no, the guy sent his wife to get the kid. He did something. The father did something. The mother didn't do anything. uh, the child reached out to a non-parent who didn't do anything without parental approval, and that parent should be the one to defend what they're doing. It was in the child's best interest. It's not on OP who did nothing without permission. I mean, you got the right conclusion, but you had the wrong. You got there the wrong way. Next, we have overheard, and it is entitled "Kevin Can Come." I overheard a conversation between my brother and my parents. Mom, Kevin's also invited. Brother, we're not inviting Kevin, Mom. Mom, we aren't the two of you friends anymore? Brother, it's complicated, Mom. Just leave it at that. Mom, but I'm making the pie he loves. It'd be a shame for him to miss out. Brother, let it go, Mom. Mom, I'm going to save some pie for him just in case. Brother, Mom. Dad, you're upsetting him, Margaret. Mom, why? Brother, we did gay things, Mom. We need space. Mom, I'm confused. Dad, he's saying if Kevin comes over, it won't be because of your pie. Brother, Dad. Rich Violinist has a top rated comment and they say, poor Kevin lost his man and pie. Does mom not understand that her kid is gay? Oh, Pleasant Emu answers, girl broke up with me while I was deployed, and her mom used to send me these cakes that were to die for. When she dumped me, I was seriously upset about the cakes. I mean, the girl too, but not easy getting shot at and getting a Dear John letter at the same time, but those cakes. Bravest Blossom says, directly to the mom. I understand this is a past situation, but if I'm a mom and it didn't end horribly, I'm still nice to and in touch of some of my son's ex-girlfriends. One of them wrote me, in your situation, I'd definitely send them a cake. Why compliment? Optimal Ad says, okay, but what kind of pie? I need to know. OP says shepherd's pie. Optimal Ad answers, Kevin can have him. I never liked that. I like shepherd's pie. It's pretty good. I'm going to make one someday. I didn't make that one. That one was pre-made. Older but not dead says, oh, thank you for this. I needed a hard laugh. Kevin did gay things. Leave alone, Margaret. Now it was Margaret. Was Margaret matchmaking or clueless? Meal says, matchmaking for sure, unless you wanted him for herself. Oh, that's so funny. Next, we have True Off My Chest, and it's entitled, I saw something at Walmart that completely changed my definition of romance. I went to Walmart today and saw this at the checkout line. The line was moving kind of slow, and this adorable old couple, maybe in their 70s, was ahead of me. The guy was looking worried about some tea item. Hi His receipt said something along the lines of, "Sorry, honey, I know you want the green box. My mind was just not present." I thought she would be mad at him because there was a lot of traffic and the employees were looking stressed as well. But instead of that, she put her hand on his arm and looked at him in such a loving way. I've never seen someone with so much sincerity. And she said something along the lines of, "Honey, I've been drinking tea with you for some number of years." I think she said 40. "And as long as you are drinking tea on our table, I don't care if it's green or not." That very moment, I realized I had been deceived into thinking that love has to be some grand romantic gesture or some big fancy gift, etc. Or that here was what love really meant: graceful patience over the little things that go wrong. I didn't tell them or interrupt them because it happened in front of me. I saw and understood what was important now. I wanted to share this with you guys because it helped me remember that normal, boring love is the most beautiful kind there is. Yes, you get comfortable with someone. Even when you fight, you love them. That's kind of how you know. Kate the Not So Great said, "My now husband and I first started dating. We saw an elderly couple at breakfast place silently doing things for each other. He opened her jelly packs with his pocket knife for her. She poured the sugar and cream into his coffee and stirred it. He opened her biscuit and put it back in front of her. We watched them, and then we both agreed that that's kind of unspoken love we hope to have one day. Just knowing that what the other person needs to be done and not seeing it as a task, but to make their life easier." Yeah, exactly. Breaking point is the second top rated comment. And they say, "I'm now 57 and my niece is 24. I've never been married. When my niece was about 8 or 9, we went to a car wash early one Saturday morning, and there was a guy standing waiting for the car, yapping with the manager. The manager told my niece she was cute, and the guy gave her $1 for some candy. The manager tells her, 'You should come every Saturday at this time because John brings his wife car every week.' Say how nice it is. Manager says every Saturday, John fills the gas tank, gets her car washed, and then brings home coffee and bagels. John says, 'Yep, just about every Saturday for 40 years, so my honey is ready for work on Monday.' The cars are ready. We all say goodbye. Once in the car, I asked my niece what she thinks boys do to show they love you and be romantic, and she says they bring you candy, flowers, perfume, and try to kiss you. Yuck. I said, that's nice to do, but what that man John does every Saturday is the most romantic thing I've ever seen. Every day when she gets in her clean car and doesn't have to worry about gas, she knows John loves her." I don't remember his real name anymore, but we call him Car Wash Guy. But every once in a while, especially during her teen years, I would ask if her crush seemed like the Car Wash Guy or not. Most times she'd say no. Then she had her first serious boyfriend in college. After they broke up, I got a sobbing 2 a.m. call. One of the things she says, "But he's a car wash guy." And he was, but they were young. Aw. Upper Collections answers. "I just got engaged to my best friend. He and I have known each other for about 8 years and have been dating for 2 of those. Just a little backstory. I'm awful at remembering to eat. I grew up poor and I'm not used to having enough food to eat during the day. Left to my own devices, I eat maybe once a day, but I often will just forget to eat even at all, even when I have plenty in the house to eat. Old habits die hard, I guess. Even when we were friends, he would bring food with him when he visit, or we'd meet up at the park. Nothing crazy, but something like I like. It started out as snacks like fruit and cheese, but turned into more substantial things like bite-sized tacos or homemade loaded fries. A time or two, I remember him explaining away why he only had enough to share with me when we met up with several friends. To be honest, I totally didn't notice. Fast forward to last year, and we now live together. He began making dinner typically 2 to 3 times a week, which is great, but even better, he usually portions out whatever makes he makes for us, so I can take some to work lunch through the week. It's been awesome because, as I said before, I forget to eat, but that extends often to me forgetting to bring lunch with me, which means I'll just skip lunch altogether. We work together at point, so he's aware of my antics. I've always appreciated it and thanked him, but he's always cooked, so I kinda took it for granted. I mean, he's just doing a little thing he likes. I guess it was my passing thought. He proposed to me last month. Ever since that night he proposed, he's made me breakfast in bed. I was teasing him a week later and said something to the effect of, "If you keep this up, I'll come to expect it." And he just smiled and said, "I just learned to cook, so I could bring you food ages ago. I've been feeding you for years. I like making sure you're taken care of, sweetheart. I wouldn't have it any other way. I cried. Until that moment, I didn't put it all together. I thought he liked to cook and would share with me when he made too much. All this time, he just cared enough to make sure, even if I was bad at doing it myself, that I had something to eat. I knew he loved I knew I loved him, but at that moment I realized how much he loved me back. I think I found my car wash guy. I hope everybody has a chance to find theirs. Oh, that's so sweet. That's so nice. We're going to end there. Next, we have What Do I Do? And it is entitled, I didn't know this was a real thing literally until about 6 minutes ago. I saw the dog, the urban legend that says truckers say when you see the dog at night while driving long hours, pull over. You're extremely exhausted and usually means it's a warning sign. I've been driving for 8 hours so far, not including driving all day on regular streets, and I know I was tired as heck, but I always stay awake and basically keep myself in control. I'm listening to music, starting forward in the left lane and coming from the right lane. There's a literal dog crawling towards my lane. I slow down immediately, scared AF I'm going to hit him. When my car is inches before I realized it wasn't a real dog, it was me hallucinating. Yikes. Yeah, I immediately knew WTF I had to do, and I pulled over, not wanting to risk my life. For it's crazy because I don't feel that tired, but now I'm understanding that I'm awake, but my brain is not processing as quickly because of exhaustion. Anyway, now I'm at a resting station. I can't sleep, but I don't want to get on the road again because clearly I'm at a level tired that I'm seeing things I don't know what to do. Go to sleep. Like, seriously, get some sleep. Bird's brain says, that's your brain hitting its limit, not a myth. Stay parked. Close your eyes for 20 to 30 minutes, then reassess before getting back on the road. Good advice. And maybe some extra hydration, says Proud Outlandishness. Vent the air from traveling, dries out more than one would, and dries out more than it would sitting at home. Spherical Orb says, put on sunglasses, close your eyes, put on one of those podcasts that's made for sleeping. If it will help you stop thinking, and try breathing for a while. Even if you don't fall asleep, closing your eyes for at least 15 to 30 minutes has benefits to attention and cognitive performance. Definitely don't get back on the road. Soap on a Potato says, take a walk for a few minutes, step outside the vehicle, take a few breaths, sit down somewhere else to do something else for a minute. Yeah, I hope OP made it home in time. Oh, no consequences. It's entitled, Woman Records a Packed Public Event and Gets Angry at People Who Walk Through the Video. My goodness. Why do people do this to themselves? All right, she's hot, I guess. There should be sound. Yeah, the sound's on. My sound's on. Weird. I'm going to keep that one for later because I'm going to have to figure out the sound. I might have to I have an issue with the sound. I got a new little device yesterday, so the one I didn't think was coming. Yeah. It's called Amazon needs to get the crap together. It'd drive me insane. All right, this is remotely infuriating, and it is entitled Having to Write a Check Just to Receive Your UPS Package Because of Tariffs. Well, that's not right, is it? All right, we'll try this again. Sounds on.
Wait, so
Yeah.
if I don't have a check for $63, I can't get my packages?
Correct. Something's off with
When
my
did this
phone.
start?
You can hear it.
Because I don't have checks. I only have a credit card. Can you take a credit card? So I ordered something, and if I don't have a check for $63, I can't receive it because of tariffs.
You have them.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
This is wild.
I know. It is wild. And I'm sorry.
So what do you do with my packages? So I would have to go to the bank, and I have to
hold them for 3 days.
Let me go see if my mom.
You get 3 attempts.
I don't use checks anymore. I use credit card and Apple Pay. Hold on. Let me go look for a check. Hold on.
I have no sound.
I got no checks. So what do? I got to go get a check from the bank, and you'll come back tomorrow?
Yeah. Get a certified check made out to UPS.
Like a cashier's check?
Yeah.
Wow.
And what? And this is tariffs?
Yeah. Anything like.
Why aren't they telling us about it?
I have no clue. I hate even asking people.
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
It's annoying.
That's weird. Okay. The mod had to put it on lockdown because there's so many racist and political comments. Okay, to the turd sniffer who's going through and reporting every single comment, you are truly more than just mildly infuriating. This post is already locked down. You're not helping anyone, and all you're doing is clogging up our inbox. Knock it off. Hot Yogurt Closet says in Canada you pay UPS on their website before the package comes to you. Makes sense. I might have to actually plug in my speakers. I do have speakers. I have lots of speakers. Next is, am I overreacting? AIO, my roommate left over 400 nitrous tanks in our living room. I, 21 male, recently moved in with my roommate, 22 male, a couple of months ago. We aren't very close, however. Things have mostly been smooth and we haven't had many problems. I understand he has side hustles. However, I believe this one has crossed the line. 2 days ago, he had 400 nitrous oxide tanks delivered to the apartment, and they have been sitting in a messy pile, taking up the entire living room space and entrance way ever since. I've asked him multiple times to move them. He keeps telling me he'll do it later, but it's been 2 days, and honestly, I don't know what to do. Any advice? I'm worried he might have a substance abuse issue, so I'm afraid to be too assertive. I'd be worried about that too. That would be my first thought. Not overreacting. He's either addicted to nitrous or buying in bulk and selling them at an upcharge. That would be the other thing. He's selling drugs, essentially. Either way, I wouldn't want anything to do with it. As far as where he's leaving them, definitely be more assertive and tell him to get his mess out of the middle of the floor. Tell him that you don't care what he's doing with it, but he needs to keep his stuff in his space. Affectionate Way says he's probably just making a lot of whipped cream. Spiritual Fruit says shove them all into his room. Problem solved. Bovitude says put them all on his bed. I did that with a former roommate's dirty dishes years ago after they sat in the sink for 2 weeks while his other roommates reminded him. It was the best. Captain Obvious says WTF, no, you might be underreacting, to be honest. Exactly. Next we have Best of Redditor updates, and it is entitled Boyfriend 20 male told me he used to ask out fat girls for fun. I am 22-year-old female. Am I, 22-year-old female, right to be disgusted by him? This was originally in relationship advice. Original post March 3rd, 2019. Ooh, this pre-pandemic. Woo! My boyfriend and I have been dating for a year. He's a very tall, attractive guy, and he was on the hockey team in university, and his team was kind of a bunch of frat boys, as they are. Hockey team, always. I mean, just look at the U.S. hockey team from the Olympics. Bunch of frat boys. They are every time, I swear. Some of his buddies from his former team came over yesterday. And we're just talking and hanging out. They start talking about their old shenanigan in uni. My boyfriend said, remember that time I broke the record for our Chunky Chick Challenge? I've heard of this one, I think. I asked what the Chunky Chick Challenge was, and he said the goal was to ask out as many fat girls in a week. Everyone would put money in the pool prize, and winner would get the entire prize at the end of the week. Basically, he asked out like 50 fat girls over text in person, secretly recording their convo and ghosting them on the date. I was shocked and said that was mean and gross. My boyfriend said the challenge was just a joke for fun. It's not a joke to the girls you're doing it to, and it's not fun for them. He accused me of overreacting. Am I, though? Top comments, Relic Chessies. Quotes, he also seems to be a very respectful and caring person. Apparently only to people he deems attractive enough to be treated decently. Zombie Slayer said, preach. He can't wait till he's a doctor and has to deal with women, teenage girls who may or may not have weight issues. He'll be a wanging treat. Ugh. Antivenom says, gross. If your boyfriend is still says it's a joke after maturing a bit, it doesn't understand the deplorable nature of his actions, and is telling you you're overreacting and not fessing up to being a waste of space in college, yeah, that's a no. Character counts. Delise says, I know a lot of people are saying, yes, you're right, but you didn't choose to be disgusted or shocked, you just were. People don't choose their feelings, and feelings are not something you sit around and have intellectual debates about. It doesn't matter if you're right or not. The fact is that you feel disgusted and there's no reasoning that feeling away. So you're asking the wrong question. The real question is, do I want to spend more time with someone who doesn't find this behavior disgusting? That's fair. Like if you have a visceral reaction, you can't help that. Update March 7th, 2019, 4 days later. Quick update. I confronted my boyfriend and after his friends left, and I told him I was genuinely concerned about his treatment of those girls. I said he lacked empathy, and I can't believe he doesn't see what was wrong with his actions. He finally acknowledged that, yes, what he did was mean. He said he didn't want to seem boring to his friends. Okay, still red flags for this guy. Either you lack empathy and you're mean, or you're insecure. Which do you prefer? Either way, you're unacceptable. I said I thought he was better than that. I told him I was worried about how he'd treat me if I gained weight in the future. He said that I was the type of person to always stay skinny. I said he can't be sure of that, especially if I get pregnant. He said I was scared by his shallowness. I said I was scared by his shallowness. Long story short, I broke up with him. Good for you. He's super sad and been apologizing nonstop via text. No matter what he says, I can't get his cruelty out of my head. It's made me much less attractive to him, and I don't want to be associated with that kind of person. As I am a new grad nurse in an eating disorder clinic, I see the kind of effect that rude comments and actions have on young women. One of my teenage girl patients is anorexic because she used to be fat and bullied in school. I'm disgusted to think that my boyfriend embodies the cruelty of her bullies. Final comments. Pika says, I'm a guy. I knew people like that. My guess is that he does not feel bad at all. He only feels bad because he saw how you reacted to it. He mostly thought he was doing those fat girls a favor by giving them attention. Don't be fooled, OP. He does not feel bad. He's got a lot to prove if he wants to show remorse for being a cruel wang. Wang that. I was trying to impress my friends BS. This is my experience with these kind of people. Guardian Complex says, you're an eating disorder nurse, and he thought you'd find the story funny. Sounds like you dodged an idiot bullet as well as a sociopath bullet. You made 100% the right decision. I agree. She did not mean that guy. Jasmine Offer says, he said I was quoted, he said I was the type of person to always stay skinny. Unsurprised that someone that mean is also stupid as Wang. Impossible bit answers, and if assuming like him that some people always stay skinny, then presumably the fat girls always stay fat regardless of their will. So he's then attacking a condition people have no way to fix. Like, if they can lose weight, then she can gain weight too. Exactly. Inevitable list quotes the type to always stay skinny. Yes, so was I, and then I got disabled and fat because life can change in an instant. I can't imagine the sort of doctor he will become. Volkswagen Orange says, eye winging can. Yeah, and it'll be a bad one. Red on the Crapper says, I've seen this story shared on Reddit, Facebook, everywhere people share about bad doctors. Complains of this doctor about aching pain in their legs, persistent fatigue, night sweats, easy bleeding and bruising. You just need to lose some weight. It was leukemia. Mallet Girl says, Christ almighty this. For me, it was severe Crohn's disease and celiac disease. I could retire if I had a nickel for every time doctors told me I needed to eat better and exercise. I was overweight until my health absolutely tanked. At my worst, I was hospitalized for a week leading to my diagnosis. My weight was normal for my height. I had severe Crohn's with a stricture blockage, so bad they couldn't finish the colonoscopy. I was so anemic I needed a blood transfusion before the scope. I had severe protein malnutrition. But please, Mr. Shallow Frat Hockey Doctor, tell me more about how I just need to exercise and eat better. Yikes. Okay. We Need a Made Me Smile. This is entitled My 5-Year-Old Wants to Be a Chef, so he made a charcuterie board for his little sister tonight. Aw. He's helped with big charcuterie spread last week and has been talking about it ever since. Tonight he wanted to make one for dinner for him and his little sister. He was so proud of the fancy cheese and kept checking that everything looked right. It was gone in minutes, but I think this one's going to stick with me for a while. Look at his cute little charcuterie board the little boy made. It's so cute. He's got apples. It's either pepperoni or salami. He's got little meat sticks that he cut up and strawberries and the goldfish, because you got to have the goldfish on the kid charcuterie board. So that's some more cheese with a strawberry in it, more cheese and more cheese, because you got to have cheese. Life is cheese. Oh, look at that. Must have been before they ate it. Orange slices. Oh, look what he did with the cheese sticks. That's so cute. And this a little flower. He did such a good job. Good little chef. That's so sweet. All right, that's what we're going to end on. 5-year-olds do a good job at charcuterie boards for other 5-year-olds. All right, have a good weekend. I will be back on Tuesday at noon. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you in the future. Bye, my biddies. I love you all. Goodbye. Bye.